Kia ora. It's Ryan the Lion, as you know me, or for next week during Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, I'll be Ryan Te Raiona, which is the Te Reo version of Ryan the Lion. And with me is Bobby Newson. You can see him standing a little bit closer because we're social distancing on a vertical measure here. And I'll say, if I'm not incorrect, Bobby is a kaumātua, or respected elder in the Māori community, and also my neighbour, so I'm very fortuitous to be able to ask this favour, and that is to help me open up the kaupapa that I'm doing for Māori Language Week, which is to interview 20 fantastic individuals about their journey with te reo. We have some people that are just starting, some people who have been speaking it all their life, and everybody in between. And there's lots of reasons for that. But first of all, I'd like to ask Bobby to introduce yourself for everybody, and then we'll get into a little bit of detail later.
Okay. Kia ora, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou ke titiro mai nei, e whakarongo mai nei. Haina ko tarakeha te maunga ko hokianga te moana, ko tau Maui te hapu, ko te rarawa te iwi, ko kāmira te tangata. Nā reira, e mihi ana i tēnei wā o te wiki o te reo Māori, e whakanui nei i tō tātou reo rangatira, e reo rangatira hoki tēnei no ngā rangatira, i tupu mai ana i roto ana i ngā rangatira tanga o rātou i tae mai, ngā mātua, ngā tūpuna. Nā reira, kia kaha tātou ki te kōrero i tō tātou reo, kia kaha o ki tātou ki te tia ki te reo. Koe tērā ko taku wawata i ngā wā tonu, kōrero tia te reo roto o tātou whānau, roto hoki o tātou hāpori, roto anō i ngā kāinga. Nā reira, ka mihi, ka mihi, ka mihi. Ka mihi hoki kia koe he te hoa, ko tāu e kōrero nei tō tātou reo, kia kaha ke manawanui. Kia ora.
Thank you very much. Now for everybody, that is your pepeha, if I'm correct?
Kia ora.
Yeah. And pepeha is an introduction of who you are based on your whakapapa, your mountain, your river, and your water. And through Turakawa Bartlett down in Ngāti Whātua Oakai, I learned that I, as non-Māori, should not use the traditional Māori model. So I have written out mine, taught by him, where it reflects on the fact that my ancestry, my whakapapa, comes from Cork Island, and therefore I can't claim to own or be part of, guardian of any of the features here. Like I can't say Flagstaff, the mountain from Dunedin, or Lake Wakatipu in Queenstown, because I'm not from there. My whakapapa's Cork Island. So a couple other things that we're going to get into, and just to sort of set the scene, is that I'm 43 and I was 38 when I learned about the second treaty. So one in English that was signed and one in Te Reo Māori. And when I understood that, I clearly understood why there was such conflict and problems, among many other reasons. Then from Te Araha, who was speaking with me on Friday, there was the Russian sub that came, and Ngāti Whātua Oakai lent Bastion Point in that area to the government to fortify against attack. Of course it never came, and neither was the land returned, and hence 1978 Bastion Point Hikui, and some people did not understand that actually it was the government or whoever it was trying to sell off land that was never returned. And this is all documented in New Zealand government. It's not written on a piece of paper in my back pocket or Te Araha's, but New Zealand government religious documentation. So yeah, there's a whole lot of things that we're going to unpack, including, and it wasn't, I don't believe it was your case, but another good friend of mine, when I started learning te reo myself, he jokingly said, "Oi!" and I was going to joke about having a backhanding me for speaking te reo Māori. And I was shocked. And what the story was is his mother was beaten severely through her school days for speaking Māori, so she never taught her children Māori because it was a danger, and she won't have Māori spoken in her house. And I'll say, yeah, so traumatized. So for all the new Kiwis that ask me, oh, Māori don't speak Māori, so who cares? There's actually a lot of reason behind it, and this is what we're going to uncover and more as we hear about these 20 stories throughout Māori Language Week. So with that, I'd like to ask you to share a little bit more information along those lines, just to help open up the discussion and help people understand where we're at and where we're moving to.
I roto i te reo. Ka reira, heina tēnei kōrero nei roto i te reo, tēnā pia me huri au i te reo tuarua nei. First of all, I want to introduce myself. Yeah, my mum is Māori, from Hokianga, from Mitimiti. It's a wonderful place called Mitimiti. My father is Pākehā, and I'm very proud of my mum and very proud of my father. But I am the treaty because of those two people. Now, we say there are two versions in the treaty. One is called Te Tiriti o Waitangi, which is the one that I totally believe in. That's the one that Māori people had signed, and the chiefs up in Waitangi signed that, and then it went around the country, and the chiefs had understood how can a person, because you must see it, that they didn't have any lawyers, but they were clever people. And then they signed a treaty honestly believing that protection was going to be given to them, that they had equal say in the running of their customs, their land and their taonga, and that they were going to be safeguarded by the British government, the Crown, both supposedly, but that didn't happen. And so from then on, lands were being taken, legislations were being written to take away lands, including our own place, which I belong to, Te Rarawa tribe, and our own lands are subject to treaty claims at the moment. And so I think every Māori in the country has been involved in it, and so we have a history of addressing our wrongs. Now, I go to Te Reo Māori, which is coming up, Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. My mother was strapped because of speaking Māori in school. I grew up with my grandparents, and they taught me to speak Māori. I lived with Māori all my life, and my number one language is Māori. But when I wanted to say or to answer the teacher back, which I got the strap for, not for speaking Māori, I believe, but for being cheeky, but I used Te Reo Māori. And then because I did not want to repeat it in the English language, sometimes I didn't even know what I'd said in English, and but I got the strap for that. So yes, I think there was an educational policy to drive out Te Reo Māori, because English was going to be the language, and there was some rumour going around after the colonisation that Te Reo Māori will become extinct. Well, when a language goes for a people, the people are lost. The language belongs to the land, the language belongs to the people. It was a God-given gift, and so without it, the people will not survive. It struggled, and then now it's coming to fruition through efforts through the kohanga reo, through kura kaupapa, through those many drivers that protested for Te Reo. And Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori is when we celebrate that Te Reo Māori has been made a legal language in this country. Up until 1980, it was not a legal language. 1985, when the Language Act was passed, the Reo Māori Act was passed in Parliament after petitions from people that I regard as the forerunners to protesting about Te Reo, Hannah Jackson and all them that protested and took a petition to Parliament, and today we celebrate the Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. So I want to honour those people for bringing it back and making it our language. Incidentally, there are only two languages that are official in this country, which is Te Reo Māori and New Zealand Sign Language. There is no law stating that English is an official language, but it is our used language because we've inherited that through all our legislations, and then, but there is no act to say that English is the official language. Kia ora.
Kia ora. So thank you so much. Now normally we would hongi, the breath of life, and then we breathe in,
and
but social distancing we can't.
That's the hongi today.
Okay. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to continuing my Te Reo Māori with you.